Preparing for a Salesforce developer interview, here's a list of 70 questions that will help you acclimate to the type of questions you may be asked. This list is designed to help you develop a better understanding of technical skills and the knowledge that are required for the job. Now, Salesforce expert question and answers. First question, what is an AppExchange? A set of components that can be installed directly into Salesforce to extend the functionality. 2, what is a governor limit? A built-in limit that helps protect the performance and stability of the system. What is the difference between trigger and workflow rules? A trigger facilitates a custom logic development, while a workflow is a set of actions that you can perform on one record. What happens when the outbound message fails in Salesforce? If the outbound message fails, the system will retry for an hour and then stop trying to deliver the message. What is the difference between Sandbox and a production environment in Salesforce? Question number 5. A sandbox is a testing environment where changes can be made without affecting the production environment, while production is the live environment where the real data is stored. What is sharing rule in Salesforce? Question number 6. A sharing rule is a way to open up access to records that would be otherwise be restricted by organization by its default, OWD. Question number 7. What is a deployment validation in Salesforce? A deployment validation is a final check to validate that the changes made in Sandbox are ready to be deployed to production. Question number 8. What is the difference between standard object and custom object in Salesforce? A standard object is provided by Salesforce, while a custom object is provided by user to store data specific to their organization. Question number 9. What is a lookup relationship in Salesforce? A lookup relationship is a relationship between two objects where one object has a field that references the ID of other object. Question number 10. What is the difference between master detail relationship and a lookup relationship in Salesforce? A master detail relationship is a relationship between two objects where the detail object inherits the sharing and security settings of the master object, while a lookup relationship is a relationship between two objects where one object has a field that references the ID of the other object. Now, on the next page, what is a permission set? A collection of settings and permissions that give users access to certain parts of Salesforce. What is a SAML? SAML, a security feature that enables single sign-on across all Salesforce products and services. What is a shield platform encryption? A feature that encrypts data at rest with the flexible key management to protect sensitive data in multiple Salesforce clouds. What objects can be shared in Salesforce? Standards objects, account, contacts, events, etc., and custom objects. Question number 5. What is a rule in Salesforce? A role is a hierarchical level of data access that you can use to restrict access to records in Salesforce. What is a profile in Salesforce? A profile is a set of permissions and settings that define what users can see and do in Salesforce. What is sharing rule in Salesforce? A sharing rule is a way to open up access to records that would otherwise be restricted by organization-wide default. What is a certificate in Salesforce? A certificate is a digital document that validates the identity of an organization or a user in Salesforce. What is two-factor authentication in Salesforce? A security feature that requires users to provide two forms of authentication to access Salesforce, such as password and verification code. Last question. What is the difference between role and profile in Salesforce? A role is a hierarchical level of data access, while a profile is a set of permissions and settings that define what users can see and do in Salesforce. Moving towards next page. What is a deployment? The process of moving an application between environments. What is a sandbox? A copy of organization for deploying and testing new features. What are debug log levels? 5 levels that define the extent of debugs. What is the difference between a workflow and a process builder? Process builder is a more powerful tool that allows to create more complex and automation. What's the change set? A way to package and transfer customization between Salesforce environments. What is a trigger in Salesforce? Code that runs between or after data is inserted, updated, or deleted in Salesforce. What is a validation rule in Salesforce? A criteria that prevent users from saving invalid data in Salesforce. What is a governance element in Salesforce? A limitation set by Salesforce to ensure efficient use of resources since it is on a multi-tenant environment. What is a metadata API in Salesforce? An API that allows developers to retrieve, deploy, create, update, and delete metadata. What is a Lightning component in Salesforce? A modular builder block for building apps in Salesforce Lightning framework. Salesforce expert question and answers. Question 1. What is the developer console? An online tool that allows developers to create custom code and modify functionality of Salesforce. Question 2. What are the control extensions? Add-ons to standard controller that meet the specific need of organization. What is an Apex data loader? A client application that allows users to insert, update, delete data to and from Salesforce. What is a Visualforce page? A custom user interface that can be added to Salesforce application to improve the user experience. What is the Force.com IDE? Integrated development environment and for building, testing, deploying applications on Salesforce Force.com platform. What is the metadata API? An API that allows developers to retrieve, deploy, create, update, delete metadata in Salesforce. What is Apex Test Framework? A framework that allows developers to write and execute tests for Apex code. What is the Lightning Component Framework? Modern framework for building web applications using reusable components. What is a Salesforce CLI? A command line interface for developing and managing Salesforce apps and org. What is the Salesforce extensions for Visual Studio Code? An extension package for Visual Code that provide a set of tools for developing Salesforce apps. Hopefully, I have not been skipping some questions. What is that developer console? What is that Apex loader? Force ID? Oh, I guess I did not. Moving forward, what are standard objects in Salesforce? Objects like account, campaign, and case that are included in Salesforce by default. What is Apex? A proprietary programming language used by developers to build custom apps and integration that is similar to Java. What is a record in Salesforce? A data stored in Salesforce database that's associated with a particular object. What is a Salesforce Lightning? A platform that enables developers to create highly customizable and reusable user interface for Salesforce applications. What is the Developer Console? An online tool that allows developers to create custom code and modify the functionality of Salesforce. What are controller extensions? Add-ons to standard controllers that meet the specific needs of an organization. What is the Apex data loader? A client application that allows users to insert, update, or delete data to and from Salesforce. What is a Visualforce page? A custom user interface that can be added to Salesforce apps to provide the user experience. What is Salesforce CLI? A command line interface for developing and managing Salesforce apps and orgs. I believe I have repeated this question. What is Salesforce extension for Visualforce code? An extension packet for Visual Studio Code that provides a set of tools to developing Salesforce apps. Seems like two questions got copied, duplicated. Moving towards to our next slide. What is an Apex trigger in Salesforce? An Apex trigger is a set of instructions that are executed when a specific event, such as data changes or record deletion, occurred in Salesforce. What are the type of relationship in Salesforce? The types of relationship in Salesforce are lookup relationship, master detail relationship, and many-to-many relationship. What are Apex trigger used for? Apex triggers provide developers with flexibility to customize behavior of Salesforce platform. What is a Lightning design system in Salesforce? A Lightning design system is a collection of resources that enable developers to create high quality, consistent user interface that adhere to Salesforce design standards. What are different types of collections in Apex? A different type of collection in Apex are lists, sets, and maps. What is a governor limit in Salesforce? A governor limit is a Salesforce imposed limit on the amount of resource that Apex code can consume. What is a Visualforce component? A Visualforce component is a reusable unit of Visualforce that can be used in different pages, just like custom HTML tag. What is the difference between standard controller and a custom controller in Apex? A standard controller is used to create page for a standard object, while a custom controller is used to create page for a custom object. What is a SOQL? SOQL, in other words. A SOQL stands for Salesforce Object Query Language. It is used to search your organization's Salesforce data for specific information. What is SOSL search? SOSL stands for Salesforce Object Search Language. It is used to perform text search in your organization Salesforce data. Salesforce terminologies and definitions. And the last page. Object. An object is a table in Salesforce database that stores records. Example of objects include accounts, contacts, and opportunities. Field. A field is a column in an object that stores a specific type of data. Example, field includes name, email, and phone. A record. A record is a single instance of an object. For example, account record represents a single customer on an organization. Now, object has records, records have fields. For example, an object account has fields with the name of Tom, and the record of Tom is provided within the object. 4. A layout. A layout defines the arrangement of fields, buttons, related lists on record detail or editor page. Related list. A related list displays a list of records that are related to parent record. For example, an account record may have a related list of contacts. Apex is a programming language used to develop custom business logic and integrate with external systems in Salesforce. Visualforce is a markup language used to create custom user interface and pages in Salesforce. A Lightning component is a reusable unit of functionality that can be added to Lightning pages or app in Salesforce. Community is a branded portal that allows external users to access Salesforce records and collaborate with internal users. Trailhead is an online learning platform provided by Salesforce, the one and only itself, that offers interactive tutorials and courses on various Salesforce topics. Now, this wraps up our 70 question and interviews that you should be familiar with.